Hi everyone, welcome to Blue Nomad Media, where we talk about all things self-improvement, personal growth, and productivity. Today, I want to share with you 5 morning habits that will change your life. If you're tired of feeling sluggish and unproductive in the morning, these habits are sure to make a big difference. First up, establish a morning routine. Wake up at the same time every day and set aside time to take care of yourself. Whether it's a quick workout, a few minutes of meditation, or journaling, make sure you start your day off with something that nourishes your mind, your body, and your soul. To help you get started on creating your own morning routine, I've included a video by Rob Dial discussing The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod.
Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about how to create the perfect morning routine, and we're also going to talk about why you want to create the perfect morning routine and how it's going to help you in your life. Before we dive into today's video though, if you want to go ahead and keep up with all of the videos I put out new videos every single week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and then right next to it, hit that little bell so that you get notified whenever I put out new videos. Also, comment down below where in the world you're watching this video from, because we have people from all over the world, and I love to see where our community is. Okay, so if we're diving into how to create the perfect morning routine, the best way to start is to dive into the book called The Miracle Morning, which is written by my good friend, Hal Elrod. This book has sold over 1 million copies, and it is self-published. If that doesn't tell you how successful this book is, I don't know what will, because the most people who put out published books through big publishing companies don't get anywhere near 1 million copies. Hal made this book on his own, published it on his own, and sold over 1 million copies of it. So we're gonna dive into his 6 key points to creating the perfect morning routine today. And you might be asking, why do I want to create a morning routine? Well, if you look at the most successful people in the world, they have morning routines. If you look at Richard Branson, if you look at Tim Cook, Steve Jobs when he was alive. But then also if you look at, and I don't want to think just successful people as far as money, I also want you to realize successful people as far as you look at them and they could be happy, they could be successful, they could be spiritual. The Pope has a morning routine. The Dalai Lama has a morning routine. There's so many people that you would see as successful in life as far as they have great lives, whether that's money, spiritually, relationships, and they have a morning routine. And you might ask yourself, why do I want to develop a morning routine? That might be the first question in your head. Well, most of the time what we do is we start our day in reaction mode. We wake up a few minutes before we have to leave and go to the office. We shower up real quick, we get ready, and we're gone. And we're starting our day on someone else's time. We're starting our day in reaction mode, and we're leaving to go to the office or leaving to go do something. That's on someone else's time. But it's nice to wake up and have 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours just to yourself for your own personal development, for whether that's mentally, whether that's physically. It's your own development and starting your day on your time. Maybe before your kids wake up, maybe before your spouse wakes up, maybe before your roommates wake up. And you have this time to yourself specifically designed to work on yourself. And as we're diving into the 6 key points from the book, The Miracle Morning, there's an acronym for it. It's SAVERS, S-A-V-E-R-S. So when you're trying to create the perfect morning routine, there's 6 different things that you can put into your morning routine. Now in the book, he recommends that you do 10 minutes for each of these things, for each one of them, S-A-V-E-R-S. 10 minutes for each one of them. Hey, you could do 10 minutes if you want to, or I recommend if you look at them and you say, okay, out of these 6, I like these 3 the most. Maybe you could wake up an hour early and instead of spending 10 minutes on each of the 6, maybe you spend 20 minutes on each of the 3 that you like the most. It's completely up to you. It's your morning routine. You don't have to rush through it. It's what you want to do. That's the most important thing. So what does the first S stand for? It stands for silence, right? So often we wake up, we go immediately to our phone. We start getting ready, talking to people, hopping on the internet, hopping on phone calls, going to the emails, whatever it is. The silence can be silence with your eyes open. Maybe you're just sitting there enjoying a cup of coffee on your back porch and you're just giving yourself 10 to 20 minutes of just sitting silently and just enjoying yourself and enjoying your own time and enjoying your day. It can also be meditation. This is a really good chance to start meditating. And meditation is not that hard. And this is not going to be talking about how to meditate, but meditation is literally just being alone with yourself, closing your eyes, and it doesn't have to be you have no thoughts. Because most people think, oh, I'm not meditating correctly, that's why I'm not doing it. It's just taking time to silently be with yourself. If you think of when your best ideas come, most people say their best ideas come when they're either in the shower or when they're on the toilet, and sometimes when they're driving their car. The reason why is because there is a focus on just doing the task at hand, just washing your body, right? That's if we're saying your best ideas come in the shower. Well, you don't have the internet that's taking up your time. You don't have people talking to you. You might not have music going. And so there's very few stimulus coming through, and you're just there with your thoughts. That's when your best ideas can come through. Well, why don't you create the exact same space in your meditation? You can sit there and you're not trying to stop your thoughts, just observe your thoughts. Notice them, identify, okay, that was a thought. And what you'll notice is that as you start getting better at this meditation, this silence in the morning, some of your best ideas will start coming through. I'll say my best ideas. I had an amazing, actually, if I'm being completely honest, I meditated as soon as I woke up this morning, and I had an amazing idea. Being completely honest with you. That's when all of my best ideas come through, is when I just stop being distracted. So the first part of the acronym SAVERS is the S, which is silence, also known for meditation. The second thing, which is the A. A stands for affirmations. And affirmations don't have to be, the universe is sending money to me from all areas of the globe, like most people think they are if you've ever watched The Secret. An affirmation is just a simple reminder. So an affirmation could be, I'm going to wake up and lead with love in everything that I do and every person that I interact with. That could be an affirmation. Today I'm going to work really hard towards making $100,000 this year. That can be an affirmation. Today I'm going to put 100% of my focus into each conversation that I have. That can be an affirmation. So the best thing to do is come up with 3 to 5 affirmations of what you want to work on, reminders of ways that you want to improve and get better. And this can be part of your morning routine and things that you tell yourself over and over again every single morning. Just the simple reminders. Okay? Next thing is the V. V stands for visualization. Visualization is extremely, extremely important. And the reason why is because visualization allows you to be able to see the future that you want to create. And then what's exciting about it is then you go back into your normal day and you're excited because you've seen what the future can be. And now you have more motivation to go and create that future. So there's a thing called the reticular activating system inside of your brain. If you've ever bought a new car and you never see that car anywhere, but then after you buy it, you start seeing it everywhere, the reason why is because your reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is basically the thing that filters out all of the bits of information that come into your brain all day long and allow you to get just the most important things. So within one given second, this second right now, you have over 2 trillion bits of information that your brain could pick up on. 2 trillion bits of information per second. But your brain filters out everything except for 200 bits per second. 200. So that means it filters out almost 2 trillion bits of information per second because it's only allowing in 200. The reticular activating system is the thing that filters out all of the stuff that you don't need. So the reason why you see that car all the time, even though you never saw it before, was because now that car holds a place in your brain. The reticular activating system notices that car whenever the car passes now. What does this have to do with visualization? Well, when you visualize what you want, what happens? You start seeing people, places, things, and opportunities pop up in your day because of the visualization. You're telling your brain in the morning what you want it to focus on. That's the point of visualization. And people always say synchronicity. Man, I was thinking about that today and then this happened. I was thinking about this person and then they called me. It's the reticular activating system. You're basically turning that part of your brain on to what you want it to focus on. So instead of thinking about the negative things and the things you don't want, start visualizing the things that you do want, and you'll start noticing them pop up inside of your day. That's the importance of visualization. The fourth part of this morning routine is exercise. It could be working out, it could be yoga, it could be going for a walk with your dog, it could be just moving a little bit more, maybe doing some stretches, some form of exercising in the morning. There's a ton of different studies that show that exercising in the morning usually helps people's brains become more productive and work better throughout the day, but then also gives them more energy throughout the day. So it's important to start your day with even 10 minutes of yoga, 10 minutes of stretching, taking your dog for a really quick walk. Exercise is a key point to your morning routine. The fifth point to your morning routine is the R, which stands for reading. Take 10 minutes or read 5 pages, read 10 pages, read 30 pages. It's completely up to you. But read in the morning, because what happens is your brain starts to, instead of starting your day off on, oh crap, I gotta take a shower, I gotta go get ready, and then you hang out, run out of the house. When you're reading, you start becoming more inspired. You start thinking about what the future could hold for you based on the stuff that you're reading. If you read something that's nonfiction, you learn something immediately in the morning, which might make you want to learn stuff more throughout the day. So start your day off with reading as well. Take 10 minutes, take 20 minutes, it's up to you. And the last part, the sixth one, stands for scribe, which I know Hal, and scribe just stands for journaling. That's all that it is. He had savor, and then he's like, savor J doesn't make sense. I can't use journaling. And his wife Ursula was actually the one who said, oh, why don't we go ahead and look it up? And they looked up journaling, writing, and they said scribe. Oh, perfect, savers. So if you're trying to figure out why somebody would use the word scribe, it's because it makes sense in the acronym SAVERS, S-A-V-E-R-S. Journaling, taking 10 minutes, 15 minutes to write down what was great about yesterday. What can I do to make today great? What are 3 things that I'm grateful for this morning? Start your day off, and if you just want to make it easy, just ask yourself 3 things that you're grateful for this morning. They don't have to be big things. It could be the fact that outside there's trees that take all of your carbon dioxide and they turn them into oxygen, and you have breath today. It could be that you still have your health. All of your children are healthy. You have great relationships. Whatever it is, the sun's shining. They don't have to be big things to be grateful for. Start your day off by just journaling 3 things that you're grateful for. And if you want to dive deeper into it, start to ask yourself good questions. Where do I want to be in a year, 5 years, 10 years? What's the number one thing that's holding me back? What can I do to get past it? What do I want in my life? What do I want in my relationships, in my bank account, in my career, in my finances, in my materialistic goals? Whatever it is, it's completely up to you. Just start journaling, scribing the things that you want in your life, because now what happens is when you wake up in each day, you're not being reactive, you're being proactive by finding the things that you want in your life and figuring out how to create those and bringing them into your life. So that is the way to create the perfect morning routine. These are the 6 parts of it. So SAVERS, S-A-V-E-R-S, silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing, aka journaling, are the keys to creating the perfect morning routine. You can take 10 minutes, and this could be your hour-long routine. Take 10 minutes for each one of them, and that's 6 things times 10 minutes, that's 1 hour. Or you could look at this and go, you know what? I think to just make it easy on myself, instead of feeling like I have to do all of them, I could just do 3 of them. Put 20 minutes for each one of them so I don't feel like I'm rushing. I really want to read, so maybe I'll put reading in there. I want to journal because I've heard about the benefits of journaling and I really need to start meditating, so then I'm going to put my meditation there. Give 20 minutes to each one of them. And then once you get good at waking up and creating this morning routine, then you can expand it. Then you can wake up earlier. But make it as easy as possible for you to wake up and start doing these things. So that's what I've got for you. If you love this episode, you can buy the book, The Miracle Morning. I definitely recommend it. If you're out there and you're watching this video, I'm going to go ahead and put The Miracle Morning, a link to it down in the comments down below. You can buy it. I absolutely recommend this book. It's super short. It's super easy to read. And I would recommend that you go out and you buy it today and start creating the perfect morning routine.
Make your bed. It may seem like a small thing, but it sets the tone for the day ahead. Making your bed can give you a sense of accomplishment, and it's a quick and easy way to start your day. Here's a speech by Admiral William H. McRaven of why making your bed can change your life.
Basic SEAL training is 6 months of long, torturous runs in the soft sand, midnight swims in the cold water off San Diego, obstacle courses, unending calisthenics, days without sleep, and always being cold, wet, and miserable. It is 6 months of being constantly harassed by professionally trained warriors who seek to find the weak of mind and body and eliminate them from ever becoming a Navy SEAL. But the training also seeks to find those students who can lead in an environment of constant stress, chaos, failure, and hardships. To me, basic SEAL training was a lifetime of challenges crammed into 6 months. So here are the 10 lessons I learned from basic SEAL training that hopefully value to you as you move forward in life. We were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed.
Third, hydrate. Drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning can help you wake up and kickstart your metabolism. Fourth, invest in personal growth. Spend a few minutes every morning reading or listening to a podcast that inspires you. Learning something new every day can be a great way to boost your confidence and motivation.
What could you do to improve yourself? Well, let's step one step backwards. The first question might be, why should you even bother improving yourself? And I think the answer to that is something like, so you don't suffer any more stupidly than you have to. And maybe so others don't have to either. It's something like that. You know, like there's a real injunction at the bottom of it. It's not some casual self-help doctrine. It's that if you don't organize yourself properly, you'll pay for it, and in a big way, and so will the people around you. Now, and you could say, well, I don't care about that, but that's actually not true. You actually do care about that, because if you're in pain, you will care about it. And so you do care about it, even if it's just that negative way, you know. It's very rare that you can find someone who's in excruciating pain who would ever say, well, it would be no better if I was out of this. It's sort of pain is one of those things that brings the idea that it would be better if it didn't exist along with it. It's incontrovertible. So you get your act together so that there isn't any more stupid pain around you than necessary. Well, so then the question might be, well, how would you go about getting your act together? And the answer to that, and this is a phenomenological idea too, it's something like, look around for something that bothers you and see if you can fix it. So now you think, well, let's say you go into you can do this in a room. It's quite fun to do it just when you're sitting in a room, like a room, maybe your bedroom. You can sit there and just sort of meditate on it and think, okay, if I wanted to spend 10 minutes making this room better, what would I have to do? And you have to ask yourself that, right? It's not a command, it's like a genuine question. And things will pop out in the room that you know, like there's a stack of papers over there that's kind of bugging you, and you know that maybe little order there would be a good thing, and you know there's some rubbish behind your computer monitor that you haven't attended to for like 6 months, and the room would be slightly better if it was a little less dusty and the cables weren't all tangled up the same way. And like if you allow yourself just to consider the expanse in which you exist at that moment, there'll be all sorts of things that'll pop out in it that you could just fix. And you know, I might say, well, if you were coming to see me for psychotherapy, the easiest thing for us to do first would just be to get you to organize your room. You think, well, is that psychotherapy? And the answer is, well, it depends on how you conceive the limits of your being. And I would say, start where you can start. You know, if something announces itself to you, which is a strange way of thinking about it, as in need of repair, that you could repair, then hey, fix it. You fix 100 things like that, your life will be a lot different. Now, I often tell people too, fix the things you repeat every day, because people tend to think of those as trivial, right? You get up, you brush your teeth, you have your breakfast, you have your routines that you go through every day. Well, those probably constitute 50% of your life. And people think, well, they're mundane, I don't need to pay attention to them. It's like, no, that's exactly wrong. The things you do every day, those are the most important things you do. Hands down. All you have to do is do the arithmetic. You figure it out right away. So 100 adjustments to your broader domain of being, and there's a lot less rubbish around and a lot fewer traps for you to step into. And so that's in keeping with Jung's idea about erasing once you've got your mind and your emotions together, and once you're acting that out, then you can extend what you're willing to consider yourself and start fixing up the things that are part of your broader extent. Now, sometimes you don't know how to do that. So you might say, imagine you're walking down Bloor Street and there's this guy who's like alcoholic and schizophrenic and has been on the streets for 10 years. He sort of stumbles towards you and, incoherently mutters something. That's a problem. And it would be good if you could fix it, but you haven't got a clue about how to fix that. You just walk around that and go find something that you could fix, because if you muck about in that, not only is it unlikely that you'll help that person, it's very likely that you'll get hurt yourself. So, just because while you're experiencing things announce themselves as in need of repair, doesn't mean that it's you right then and there that should repair them. You have to have some humility. You don't walk up to a helicopter that isn't working and just start tinkering away with it. You have to stay within your domain of competence. But most of the time, if people look at their lives, it's a very interesting thing to do. I like the idea of the room, because you can do that at the drop of a hat. You go back to where you live and sit down and think, okay, I'm going to make this place better for half an hour. What should I do? And you have to ask, and things will just pop up like mad. And it's partly because your mind is a very strange thing. As soon as you give it a name, a genuine aim, it'll reconfigure the world in keeping with that aim. That's actually how you see to begin with. And so if you set it a task, especially, you have to be genuine about it, which is why you have to bring your thoughts and emotions together, and then you have to get them in your body so you're acting consistently. You have to be genuine about the aim, but once you aim, the world will reconfigure itself around that aim, which is very strange. And it's technically true. The best example of that, you have all seen this video where you watch the basketballs being tossed back and forth between members of the white team versus the black team, and while you're doing that, a gorilla walks up into the middle of the video and you don't see it. It's like, if you thought about that experiment for about 5 years, that would be about the right amount of time to spend thinking about it, because what it shows you is that you see what you aim at. And that, man, if you can get one thing through your head as a consequence of even being in university, that would be a good one. You see what you aim at. And so, because one inference you might draw from that is, be careful what you aim at, right? What you aim at determines the way the world manifests itself to you. And so if the world is manifesting itself in a very negative way, one thing to ask is, are you aiming at the right thing? Now, I'm not trying to reduce everybody's problems to an improper aim. People get cut off at the knees for all sorts of reasons. They get sick, they have accidents. There's a random element to being, that's for sure. And so you don't want to take anything, even that particular phrase, too far. You want to bind it with the fact that random things do happen to people, but it's still a great thing to ask.
Habit number 5, plan your day ahead. Take a few minutes to review your goals for the day and make a plan for how you'll achieve them. This will help you stay focused and productive throughout the day. Included in this video is Monif Ali's How to Plan Your Day the Night Before, Productivity for Success. Enjoy.
Look at your bedtime rituals for you to make a very successful next day. Before I get into it, I'm going to ask you to partake in a ritual that I want you to practice every single day. I want you to take your hand and put liberal pressure on that subscribe button and go ahead and let the algorithm know that our content is worthy for your viewership. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about your nighttime ritual. Now, a lot of people are all about putting an alarm clock on in the morning to get up, but I want you to try to see how this works out for you. You need sleep. When I was younger, I didn't really value a lot of sleep. And what I used to think of is, sleeping is a waste of time. But there's a reason why it's part of our system as human beings, right? We need rest and recuperation. We need to be able to recharge ourselves. And if you've ever been injured, when you wake up in the morning, you'll realize that your wound is almost gone or that you've healed. And it usually takes that sleep cycle to rejuvenate yourself. So sleeping is critical and important. So you need to set an alarm for the time you go to sleep. It's even more important. Now, a lot of you know that I wake up, I'm a super early bird. If I wake up at 3:30 or 4 in the morning, that doesn't mean I party all night long and go to sleep at 1 in the morning. It's not gonna do me really well. So when you're planning out what time to get up, factor in the 7, 8, 9, whatever hours you think you need to sleep, factor that into your sleep cycle. And there's numerous apps out there, there's wearables, there's all type of systems that you can utilize that tell you exactly how much sleep you're getting and what quality of sleep that is. So after you set that alarm clock that tells you when to go to sleep or when to start your nighttime rituals, I want you to factor in what activities are going to get you in the mood. Not get you in the mood for bed that way, you dirty mind. Get you in the mood to be able to go to sleep on time. A lot of people watch TV, the news, Netflix, Hulu, I could go on, all the things that you do. One of the worst things that you could do is have a television in your actual bedroom. That bedroom is for going to sleep or a lot of other extracurricular things you might be doing. But that bedroom is exclusively for you to either rest or make love or do whatever you do as adults or study, but keep the distractions away. Keep the TV out of the room. Now, if you've already got this big giant 85-inch TV mounted in front of your bed, what can you do now, right? Well, either you could take it off or just not get into the ritual of watching it late at night. You can also always watch TV inside your bedroom, but not at least a couple of hours before going to sleep, because all of those blue lights that we're used to, not really blue, but that's how our eyes adjust to them. Your iPhone, your iPad, your laptop, your television, all of these things tell the human brain that you're actually in daytime. And that's why it's harder for you to shut down. And that's why it's also harder for you to get into deep sleep. So get all of that stuff out. And part of your nighttime ritual is to stop watching, basically having what I would call a digital nighttime ritual, where you put all of this stuff away and you know that you're about to go to sleep in a couple hours, or brush your teeth, hang upside down, dip yourself in polar plunge or go to the sauna. Whatever you do, it should be minus those distractions. I like to either meditate or read a little bit, and it gets me in the groove. So the other thing that you need to do, actually line out 3 things you want to accomplish tomorrow. Notice I only talk about 3, because I felt if you start to make a to-do list of 10 items, you'll be frustrated, you won't get through it all, then you'll be looking at lists that aren't crossed off, and that's going to end up affecting your sleep as well. So just make 3 items that you need to do tomorrow and accomplish all 3 of them. So they could be smaller items, but one of them has to be a big item that moves your life forward. You could have a simple thing like, okay, I'm gonna work out tomorrow, that's one of my to-do things. I'm gonna have this certain meeting, or I'm gonna make this one phone call, or I'm going to finish my sculpture or finish my rap song, or whatever that one thing is. That's your critical thing. The other 2 can follow, so you feel accomplished at nighttime. So make sure that you're addressing this list for the next day. If you're finding some of the information that I give you helpful and it's going to increase your productivity and your net worth, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button.